On with summation notation, and you notice this E. And I know you noticed on the pretest where you had an E, and I said that was called the summation notation. All right, there's some things you need to know. The lower limit where your series begins is at n equals 3. Okay, so your series begins at n equals 3. So you'll start at the third term, and you put 3 in for n. 3 squared is 9. Okay, but you keep on going to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, substituting it in and adding it up until you get to the upper limit, which is this 108. So you go from 3 all the way to 108, and you're adding because summation means to add. There's an explicit formula, and that's that n squared in this case, but it can change depending on what you're looking at. So let's look at a few. We've got the summation notation. You may use your calculator if you're using one of those calculators, and you can type that in. Now what's happening here is I'm replacing 1 n for n. So 2 times 1 is 2, minus 1 is 2. Okay? But what's really going on is that we can use our calculator, we can use a lot of different tools to kind of see what to do. Here, we're evaluating the expression, we're replacing n, each of the integers starting with n minus 1 all the way through n to the 6. So there's where you start, this is where you end. So 1 goes in there, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. And then you add up all your answers. Okay. Okay, so I substituted in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And when I got the answers, I got 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11. And when I added all up, I got 36. Now, I want to show you something really neat. If you're pulling up your graphing calculator, and I'm going to hit the view so you can see it just a little bit better. You're pulling up your graphing calculator, and you want to get this exact problem. All you have to hit is alpha y equals and hopefully you have the new operating system. Okay, so I said you could hit alpha y equals, and if you look over here, there's a function button. Hit the window right underneath the function button, and you notice you have a summation button. Yours may just have an E on it. So go ahead and click that. I'm going to make your view just a little bit bigger. All right, so this is what you see. And if you compare it to what you had, the n equals 1, you just type in the n button, and it's already got the alpha key, n and 1. And you can arrow up to the top to get the 6. And then if you look at the explicit part, it's 2n minus 1. So I just arrow to the side, and I type in 2 alpha n minus 1. Hit enter, and it does all the work for me. It substituted in 1, you got 36. It's quite nice, and when you're being on a time test, this helps you tremendously. So you can do it by hand if your calculator is not working, but you also can do it using the calculator. So let's try the next one. All right, so here we go again. We've got a calculator. You can do it substituting them in, but it goes from 1 to 25, so that would take a while. So again, I hit alpha y equals, go to the function button, which is Windows. I'm looking for the summation button, that E. I hit enter, and I'm going to type in n, and that could be any variable. Just make sure that you type it in correctly. Arrow up for 25. Arrow to the side, and let me give you that view again. We've got 10 minus the alpha n. Before I hit enter, I want to check myself, make sure that's what it said. Yep, because that's the biggest mistake we make sometimes. We get in a hurry and type it in wrong. You hit enter, and it gives you negative 75. So your answer for that is negative 75. All right, and you can read through your notes and you can see it explains how to find it again if you get stuck. Okay, the series does not have to start from the first term, so you need to make sure you know that. Again, practice this doing it in your calculator. Make sure you probably don't have a graphing calculator unless you downloaded it, but we can do that when you get to class. And then we want to discuss, make sure we know how to do that with your answers. Okay, when you write, you're writing into summation notation. Okay? We want to talk about this when we go to class. All right? But let's suppose you want to write the first 7 terms of this series. Okay? You've got 3, 6, 9. You want to think about it. What's going on? Well, you're adding 3 each time. But then you think about it, n plus 3 doesn't work. Because if I do the first term plus 3, I get 6. But the second term plus 3, I get 5. Okay? Or excuse me, the first term you get 1 plus 3, which is 4. It doesn't work. So you try again. You try 3 times n. So 3 times the first term, which is 3, does give you 1. 3 times 2, the second term, does give you 6. 3 times 3 gives you 9. Okay, that works. So maybe that's my explicit formula. Now the question is, where do I go to? Do I start at 1? Yeah, it was the first 7 terms. So my first term, start at 1, and I go to 7. Is that the only thing you can write? No, but that is a good one. It works. So let's try this. Think about these, and we'll do them in class. You start at 4, 6, 8, and you're going all the way to the 13th term. Okay, so your n is 13. And you think about what you would do. Next one, 3 plus 8 and 13. Think what you would do.